What if I told you that one of the most awkward nights in Hollywood this year didn't happen on a red carpet, but inside a private garden party hosted by the most powerful man at Netflix? Because according to multiple reports, whispers from inside Montecito, and a photo drop that has the internet absolutely spiraling, something very strange happened the night Meghan Markle and Prince Harry showed up at a high-profile Netflix gathering hosted by none other than Ted Sarandos. And here's where things get interesting. 44 official photos were released from that event. 44. Now you'd expect Hollywood's most talked-about royal couple to be mingling with the A-listers, right? Smiling with actors, laughing with producers, posing with the stars of the night. But that's not what the photos show. Instead, viewers notice something that immediately set social media on fire, in image after image. Meghan appeared isolated from almost every major celebrity in attendance. No red carpet-style pairings. No cozy chats with the stars. Just a handful of awkward frames. So, what actually happened at that party? Was this simply a misunderstood Hollywood moment? Or was the Duchess of Sussex quietly shown the door at the very event meant to celebrate Netflix's biggest projects? Because if the photos are telling the truth, this story is about to get very uncomfortable. The evening was supposed to be glamorous, effortless, the kind of elite Hollywood gathering where reputations are polished and careers quietly negotiated over expensive wine. The setting? A private Montecito estate owned by one of the most powerful figures in streaming, Ted Sarandos. The occasion? An exclusive celebration connected to Netflix's growing slate of prestige content and industry power players. But before the night even began, one question was already floating through Hollywood circles like an uncomfortable rumor nobody wanted to say out loud. Why were Meghan Markle and Prince Harry even there? Now remember, this isn't just any celebrity couple. These two arrived in Hollywood with one of the biggest media deals in entertainment history after leaving the British royal family. Netflix reportedly poured tens of millions of dollars into their partnership, expecting documentaries, shows, and a brand powerful enough to rival traditional studios. At first, the headlines were huge. Interviews, documentaries, and dramatic revelations about the royal family dominated global news cycles. But Hollywood has a short memory and even shorter patience. Inside industry circles, whispers had already begun months earlier. Executives quietly complained about slow production timelines. Projects were announced with massive fanfare, but then quietly disappeared. Shows that were supposed to dominate streaming charts barely made a ripple. By early 2026, insiders were already asking uncomfortable questions about whether the Sussex brand was losing momentum. And then came the reports that really shook the entertainment world. Multiple media outlets claimed that the relationship between Netflix and the couple was becoming complicated, quietly strained. Some insiders even hinted the partnership might be nearing its end. Nothing official, of course. In Hollywood, bad news is rarely announced loudly. It just slowly leaks out through whispers and anonymous sources. So when invitations went out for the Montecito gathering at Sarandos estate, industry watchers were curious. Would Harry and Meghan attend? And if they did, how would they be received? Because the guest list that night read like the VIP section of Hollywood itself. Major actors, directors, producers, streaming executives, people who control billion-dollar franchises and careers with a single phone call. The kind of room where reputation matters. Eyewitnesses say the atmosphere was elegant, but tightly managed. Dim lighting across the garden, quiet conversations near the pool, photographers capturing carefully curated moments for media distribution later. Everything about the event screamed prestige. Then the Sussexes arrived. According to several attendees who later spoke anonymously to entertainment bloggers, the mood in the garden shifted almost immediately. Not dramatically, not loudly, just subtly. Heads turned. Whispers started. One guest reportedly joked under their breath, "Well, this just became a documentary." And the attention quickly focused on Meghan's entrance. The Duchess appeared wearing a striking chartreuse green dress that immediately caught the eye. Now, under normal circumstances, that wouldn't be unusual. Celebrities wear bold outfits all the time. But there was a small detail that quickly sparked murmurs around the room. The color choice looked suspiciously similar to the tone worn by the evening's featured star, Carey Mulligan, who was expected to arrive shortly afterward. Within minutes, the internet gossip machine was already warming up. One anonymous assistant who claimed to be working the event later posted cryptically on X, "Hollywood rule number 1. Don't outshine the guest of honor." Someone clearly missed the memo tonight. Another alleged attendee wrote in a now-deleted comment, "Everyone else followed the black and white dress guideline. One person didn't." Still, at this stage, nothing explosive had happened yet. Harry and Meghan mingled briefly with hosts. Cameras snapped a few photos with Nicole Avant and Sarandos himself. Smiles were exchanged. Polite greetings floated through the garden. On the surface, everything looked normal. But according to multiple accounts that surfaced later, the real tension began building about 20 minutes after the couple arrived. Because the guest of honor still hadn't entered the party, and several staff members appeared to be quietly coordinating something behind the scenes. That's when, according to one alleged witness statement that began circulating online the next morning, a Netflix staff coordinator approached someone near the entrance and whispered a sentence that would later ignite the entire controversy. "Let's delay Mulligan's arrival until the situation is handled." That single word would become the center of the entire internet storm. Because if the rumors are true, what happened next inside that Montecito garden wasn't just awkward. It was the moment the evening reportedly went from glamorous Hollywood celebration to one of the most uncomfortable social standoffs the industry had seen in years. At first, the tension inside the garden was subtle, the kind of quiet awkwardness that only people in the room could feel. Conversation slowed. Some guests began glancing toward the entrance, others toward the photographers lining the walkway. Something clearly wasn't unfolding the way the hosts expected. Then came the moment that completely changed the story. A staff member allegedly approached the couple and spoke quietly with Prince Harry for nearly a full minute. Witnesses later described Harry nodding politely while Meghan's expression appeared noticeably tense. No raised voices. No public argument. Just a short conversation that ended with the couple stepping away from the main gathering area. And that's when the internet mystery truly began. Because shortly afterward, photographers who had been documenting the evening continued snapping pictures, but something strange happened when those photos started appearing online. There were 44 official images released from the event. 44 carefully curated frames uploaded to media archives. And people noticed something immediately. In nearly every photo, the couple seemed oddly disconnected from the rest of the guest list. While celebrities were pictured laughing together, chatting with producers, or posing in small groups, Meghan appeared only alongside the hosts, Ted Sarandos and Nicole Avant. No individual photos with the night's featured actress, Carey Mulligan. No pictures beside actors like Michael Keaton. No casual mingling with stars such as Oscar Isaac or Orlando Bloom. Just a handful of polite host photos, and then the couple seemingly disappearing from the record. Within hours, online detectives began dissecting the images like a crime scene investigation. One viral post on X exploded overnight. 44 photos from the Netflix party. Guess how many show Meghan with actual Hollywood stars? 0. This is getting awkward. Another thread quickly followed. Look carefully. Everyone else is grouped together. She's standing on the edge in almost every frame. Something definitely happened here. And the speculation spread faster than anyone expected. Entertainment blogs began posting side-by-side comparisons of the photos. Comment sections filled with theories. Some viewers claimed the images suggested Meghan had been intentionally isolated. Others argued the photographers simply captured random moments. But then another twist dropped that pushed the story into overdrive. A body language analyst, Judy James, reviewed one of the most widely circulated photos, the one showing Meghan hugging Nicole Avant while Harry stood nearby. Her commentary instantly went viral. According to James, the interaction showed what she described as overcompensating attachment gestures. In simpler terms, she suggested the moment looked less like natural friendship and more like someone trying very hard to appear welcome. The phrase she used in her column sparked the biggest reaction of all. Photobombing energy. The internet lost its mind. Within minutes, hashtags began trending. Hashtag Netflix party drama, hashtag 44 photos, hashtag Montecito mystery. Some fans rushed to defend Meghan, accusing critics of overanalyzing harmless photos. One supporter wrote, "People analyzing body language from still images is ridiculous. She's literally just hugging someone." But critics were far less forgiving. A viral comment with over 60,000 likes read, "Hollywood doesn't ignore you by accident. If no one is standing next to you in 44 photos, that's a message." Even celebrity gossip accounts began weighing in. One anonymous industry insider posted a message that quickly circulated across entertainment forums. When an event photographer doesn't capture you interacting with the stars, that usually means those interactions didn't happen. Meanwhile, speculation about Netflix itself began exploding online. Several entertainment reporters pointed out that recent projects involving the Sussexes had struggled to gain traction. Viewership numbers were debated across forums. Critics questioned whether the streaming giant might be quietly shifting its focus away from the couple. Suddenly, the party photos weren't just gossip anymore. They were being interpreted as a signal, a sign that something bigger might be changing behind the scenes. Then a second rumor surfaced that took the controversy to an entirely new level. According to one anonymous staff account shared on a Hollywood discussion board, the evening's timeline had been quietly adjusted to avoid an awkward moment when Carey Mulligan arrived. The claim suggested organizers wanted to ensure the spotlight stayed on the actress, whose project the night was actually celebrating. Was it true? No official confirmation ever appeared, but the rumor spread across social media like wildfire. News sites began publishing headlines asking whether Meghan had accidentally overshadowed the event, or whether the entire situation had been misunderstood from the start. Suddenly, the narrative had split into two completely different camps. One side believed the Duchess had been deliberately sidelined by Hollywood insiders. The other insisted critics were twisting harmless photos into a conspiracy. But there was one detail nobody could ignore. The photos stopped. After a certain point in the evening, there were no more images featuring the couple at all, which raised a question that reporters and fans alike couldn't stop asking. Did Harry and Meghan simply leave early? Or were they quietly encouraged to exit the party before the night's main celebration even began? And if that rumor turns out to be true, then the story behind those 44 photos might only be the beginning. For nearly 24 hours after the party, the internet kept circling around the same mystery. Why did the photos suddenly stop? Entertainment blogs had already picked apart the 44 images frame by frame. Commentators debated body language, dress codes, and who was standing next to whom. But late the following evening, a new detail surfaced that flipped the entire conversation again. According to a report circulating among Hollywood reporters, a small batch of additional photos from the event had quietly disappeared from public archives. And that's where things got truly strange. The original photographer credited for the event images was Stephanie Keenan, a veteran known for covering major industry gatherings. Normally, when she shoots a high-profile event, dozens, sometimes hundreds of photos appear in the official gallery. But in this case, only 44 made the final public release. Not 45, not 50, just 44. Online investigators immediately started asking the obvious question: where were the rest? Some fans brushed the theory aside, saying event photographers always discard unused images. But others pointed out something curious. A few celebrity guests who were confirmed to be at the party barely appeared in the released gallery at all. Actors like Michael Keaton and Oscar Isaac were mentioned in guest lists, but barely visible in the official frames, which fueled a brand new theory. What if the gallery had been edited? And then came the twist that truly sent the speculation into overdrive. A short message began circulating among entertainment journalists late that night, supposedly from someone who claimed to work with the event production team. No name attached. No verification. Just a cryptic statement that instantly caught attention. There were more photos earlier in the evening. Some interactions weren't meant for press distribution. That single sentence was enough to ignite another wave of debate. If true, it meant the public might only be seeing a carefully selected version of the night. Supporters of Meghan Markle argued this proved the entire controversy was being exaggerated. According to them, Editing the gallery could simply mean Netflix wanted to keep the focus on the show being celebrated, not on celebrity gossip. But critics weren't convinced. They began asking a different question entirely. What exactly happened in the moments that didn't make it into the photo release? Because around the same time, another rumor quietly surfaced through industry blogs. Several attendees allegedly noticed a brief conversation near the garden entrance between Ted Sarandos and Prince Harry shortly before the couple left the event. No shouting, no scene, just a short, serious exchange. Moments later, the Sussexes were reportedly heading toward the exit. And almost immediately afterward, the evening's main guest, Carey Mulligan, finally arrived. To some observers, the timing felt a little too perfect. Entertainment podcasts began floating theories that the hosts may have been trying to avoid an uncomfortable spotlight clash. Others argued the couple might simply have chosen to leave early to avoid the growing media frenzy. But one thing became impossible to ignore. Within 2 days, the Montecito gathering had transformed from a quiet industry celebration into one of the most dissected Hollywood events of the year. Commentators on YouTube debated every detail. Gossip columns speculated about tensions inside the streaming industry. Social media threads stretched for thousands of comments as fans and critics battled over what really happened that night. And through it all, neither the hosts nor the Sussexes issued a detailed explanation. No statement clarifying the timeline. No official comment addressing the rumors. Just silence, which in Hollywood often speaks louder than words. But here's the part that makes this story even more interesting. Because according to several entertainment reporters, the Montecito gathering may not be the last time the Sussex-Netflix relationship faces scrutiny. Insiders claim that major decisions about future projects involving the couple are expected to surface later this year. If those reports turn out to be accurate, the party controversy could end up looking like the opening chapter of a much larger story. A story about streaming deals, celebrity influence, and what happens when Hollywood expectations collide with reality. So, was the Montecito moment simply a misunderstood evening blown out of proportion by the internet? Or were those 44 photos quietly capturing the beginning of a much bigger shift behind the scenes? Right now, no one outside that garden knows the full answer. But one thing is certain: the cameras were rolling, the photos were taken, and Hollywood has a very long memory, which means this story probably isn't finished yet. In fact, if the rumors about upcoming industry announcements are true, the next twist might arrive sooner than anyone expects. Before we wrap this up, take a moment and think about everything we just uncovered. Because when you step back and look at the entire picture, the mysterious party, the carefully selected 44 photos, the whispers from insiders, and the internet detectives analyzing every frame, it starts to feel less like a simple Hollywood gathering and more like a story that's still unfolding in real time. At the center of it all are two of the most talked about figures in modern celebrity culture, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Ever since they stepped away from royal duties, their journey through Hollywood has been watched, debated, praised, and criticized by millions around the world. And then there's the man hosting the event, the streaming executive whose decisions shape what the entire world watches: Ted Sarandos. So the big question is this: what actually happened inside that Montecito garden? Was it just another glamorous Netflix event where the internet exaggerated a few awkward photos? Or were those 44 images quietly revealing something much bigger, something the public wasn't supposed to notice? Because think about it, 44 photos were released, 44 moments captured. Yet the internet somehow managed to turn those images into one of the biggest celebrity debates of the week. Some viewers believe the whole story is overblown gossip. Others are convinced those photos reveal an uncomfortable truth about Hollywood's shifting relationships. So now we want to hear from you. What do you think really happened that night? Do you believe the rumors that the couple were quietly asked to leave before the evening reached its peak? Or do you think this entire controversy is just another example of social media turning normal celebrity interactions into a viral scandal? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this story clearly has two very different sides, and the debate online is only getting louder. And if you enjoy deep dives into Hollywood mysteries, celebrity controversies, and the stories the headlines don't fully explain, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Because trust us, this won't be the last twist. There are already rumors circulating about new developments involving Netflix, future projects, and some decisions that could reshape the next chapter of the Sussex story. And when that next update drops, you already know we'll be here breaking it all down. Until then, remember one thing. In Hollywood, every photo tells a story. But sometimes the story behind the photo is even bigger.